Hello, my name is Cameron Clark, and this is my presentation for our environmental and social responsibility. And I'm teamed up with Carl and Liz, and I'm on the con side of climate change. And I agree that climate change is a big concern in the United States, but I mean, I don't think it's all on the human part. That most of it is kind of from the Earth and really much how the Earth operates on a daily basis. And my first fact I had was that the Earth's orbit and the rotation of the sun is kind of messing with, is the reason why the Earth is getting warmer and warmer on the surface every year. We're kind of gravitating towards the sun a little bit, and the way the Earth is rotating, it's kind of making more sunlight hit the Earth on a more natural basis and causing this Earth's atmosphere to be warmer. And it's not just the humans releasing carbon dioxide into the air. Another fact I have for why carbon dioxide is not the major cause is that sea levels have been rising for over 8,000 years. It's not just because the glaciers are melting. Glaciers started melting in the mid-19th century, and that's also not a fact because it wasn't the Earth's temperature on the surface wasn't really rising in the mid-19th century like it is now. So those two facts alone kind of make it where the warming of the atmosphere is kind of not causing the sea levels and the glaciers to either melt or rise. Sea levels rising is a big concern though for our nation and the world around us, because there's a lot of countries that are kind of right at the border of being sea level or under sea level, like in New Orleans and other countries around the world, where if the sea levels keeps rising, then there will be no city there. The people will have to move and kind of join up, and there's not a lot of land in the world for other people to move around, especially in New Orleans. That's a lot of people, and other cities like that. And glaciers rising, glaciers melting since it's been in the mid-19th century. That's about 150 years ago. That's kind of, the Earth's temperature didn't start rising until about the mid-1900s, or late 1900s, I mean. So that's kind of not the real reason why. It's not humans that are causing the glaciers to melt. It's kind of more on the Earth's atmosphere and the rotation and orbit, really, is why it's changing. And moving on to the question and answers. The ethical responsibility, I do think individually that we do have a responsibility to, if we are causing the global warming and climate change, then we would have an ethical responsibility to to decide that we need to put an end to it and kind of slow down the global warming and climate change. But I don't agree that it is fully on the individuals. But I mean, it's kind of, we can't really slow down Earth's atmosphere and rotation of the orbit unless somehow some inventor comes up with how to slow down the Earth's orbit from rotating, which I don't see happening anytime soon. But if it was the cause, then I would say that if individuals were putting out so much carbon dioxide and it was causing most of the damage to the Earth, then we would have an ethical responsibility to slow down our carbon dioxide emissions into the Earth's atmosphere. And for social entrepreneurship, I do think that social entrepreneurs do have a responsibility to kind of help damage control, because they're social entrepreneurs are made to kind of help the people that really need help, which is poverty and other people in this world. And I think that people are being affected by climate change, such as natural disasters and all these other bad causes in the world today. But so I think if they could come up with a business or invention that would help benefit the poverty of people that are being destructed by natural disasters or slow down climate change, I think that they do have a responsibility for that. And global leaders, I think they have the most responsibility because they kind of have a big say in what everybody does. Like President Trump, he has a big say in how the United States handles climate change, even if he doesn't agree with anything. Even if he doesn't agree with the PCA Act and with like the other countries, he still has a big say in how America handles the climate change and how we go about our business to try to limit our human emissions into the atmosphere. Our comparison and contrast we did we compared America to Morocco, and Morocco has a lot of renewable resources that they could use, like hydropower, wind power, and solar power, but they really haven't tapped into those resources. And America is also kind of like that, where we have a lot of land. So we have the desert, so we could use solar power, we could use wind power out west in the Midwest. And we have a lot of oceans and water, bodies of water, so we could use hydropower as well. And so that's a good comparison. I think we've kind of started doing that with our renewable resources, and Morocco kind of needs to start doing that if they want to be successful and help out our climate change patterns to help benefit the world. And I think for those two countries to come up with the plan and organize it will be a strategic leadership style that they would need to use to come up with a plan to help benefit not only Morocco and America, but the rest of the world, on how they can keep renewing energy and not being able to use fossil fuels that would damage, that has some kind of damage to our human emissions, carbon dioxide being put into the world. So I think they should both use a strategic leadership style to kind of make up a plan to go for their countries. And that concludes my presentation. Thank you for listening.